Hello, everybody. Randy Crabtree here, host of the Unique CPA podcast and partner at Trimerit Specialty Tax, here with Duke Alexander Moore at the Bridging the Gap conference, which we're hosting in Rosemont, Illinois, currently live. We just finished the first couple sessions. What do you think so far?
Loving it. Dawn just killed it. That energy that she brings. First, I met Dawn at an Intuit. I'm like, she's just such an amazing individual to meet. So I was like, you chose the right one, bringing her out first. And then, of course, Scott's rap, that's unique.
Oh, very unique.
So that's pretty player.
Yeah, that was fun. So you're here, the first guest we're interviewing at the conference. And we're doing that because, well, one, you're used to the camera. Yeah. I'm sure most of you know, but Duke Alexander Moore is a social media star. Is that what we call it?
Yeah. Personality, whatever.
Personality.
I'm your guy, I'm your friend, I'm your homie.
Whatever. He's all over the 3 point what million followers on TikTok?
3.5.
3.5 million followers. Yeah. When you and I talked last on the podcast, it was 3.4. So you've added another 100,000 followers.
Progress.
Nice.
Yeah.
But not just that. So when you're on social media, you're talking taxes, you're educating. I love education. You're always out there educating. What caused this? How did you decide, hey, I'm going to go out and educate through social media on taxes?
Because I feel like learning taxes could truly change one's life. And so I feel like my whole goal in life, and it's always been that, is just to impact others. So how do I do that? And what's my medium to do that? So I found it through taxes. Okay, so I'm still fulfilling my goal of impacting other people's lives and changing other people's lives. I believe truly, to me, that's what success is. Like, it's not money in the bank account. It's like, dude, how many lives can I change? How many lives can I impact? And I've always felt like that, even like at a younger age, where it was confused. Like, I would do this for this person, but they wouldn't do it for return. So I'm like, whatever, I don't care anymore. So it's like, always give and, never expect nothing in return. So it's always about impacting. So I do that through taxes. And it was really, really probably the most important time that what everyone kind of need to understand taxes was during the COVID period. Yep. You had the stimulus checks, you had the advanced child tax credit, and those like the PPP, like all that stuff. So it's like there was so much opportunity out there, and it was the lack of education of why the average person can take advantage of this unless you're working with like a tax professional who are studying this taxes. So I'm like, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be Superman. I'm going to tell these people. Now, the caveat is taxes is boring. Like, how do I? So I started like that, trying to do that. But then I found a way to make it engaging. Yep. So and it's so amazing. Like the people in my DMs now, they're like, oh my God, they're like, she changed my life, my life with the information that you told me. They're running up and taking pictures. It's like, it's an amazing feeling, but it really took off during COVID and so forth. So it's just impact of this.
So when did you start then? I mean, did you start?
I started. Okay, let's talk about content in general. Let's talk about day one. So I've always created content. I get so excited about this. I've always created content or recorded videos, or I was the guy recording school fights. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen what's that show, Maury? And they're like, you are not the father. And you see the cameraman just. That was me. I'm in the face like this. That was me. I was running like that. So I've always been behind the camera, like Nico is right now, or something like that. Always recording this. It's always been a passion of mine. Then I started eventually becoming in front of the camera. I taught myself how to play the piano, and so I would put videos like that on YouTube. I think most of those are archived right now. So
I'm gonna have to go find them.
Oh God, maybe they're still there. So I would do that or record our school rallies and stuff like that. So I've always been the video person, or creating content person. And then I really got more into content when I started doing a lot of modeling. I modeled for since the age of 14 to 18 with Neiman Marcus, JCPenney, Frito-Lay. And so I've always created that content world. Then I'm okay, Vine came out, so I was already still creating content, but it was never specific content. It was goofy stuff, skits and comedy skits. So it's always been that transition since I was a younger age. This is not just something that came out the blue. And then I was on TikTok. I was already creating content on TikTok, the boring stuff, like the whiteboard, or and some of the, okay, so this is another thing about content. When I go learn from other tax professionals on YouTube, I go find the ones with the least amount of videos, the views. Those are the best ones. The old guy that's just sitting there I'm like, this is the don't know if we can cuss or not, but I'm like, this is it. And like, so like, but I was that guy like on like TikTok because I was modeling like what I've always learned.
Right.
Then I figured out how to make it engaging because I came across this one dude's video, like it was wrong, but it had like 1 million views. I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got into it. And it's been like, it's funny that you asked that question because now I'm walking through the journey again. It's like, wow, how the heck are we here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I asked myself that too.
Yeah.
So because you were talking about the boring videos out there, you are very entertaining.
Yeah.
You have an alter ego
Sure.
that you do on many of these too. How did that just come to you, or did you? All right.
So, so the thing, anytime on social media, you have like engaging content or content that engages less. Finance and economy, it's on the chart, and this is Statista. I got this information from Statista. If you look at the graph of like what performs well, what performs the least well, financing and economy is always going to perform like the least well. What performs really well are things like sports, like ESPN, movies, skits, and comedy. Those are performing well. So what you do is the peanut butter and jelly. Okay, here's the peanut butter at the top. It's all the engaging content, all the content that's doing the work. Here's the jelly right here. The finance and economy. Put it together, and now we got a sandwich. So, and it's good. I can take the crust off. I can do it how I want to. So, what I've studied is you gotta take that content. It's you ever like a dog. You may have a dog, or
Yep.
you have a dog.
I have a dog.
You try to feed the medicine. Like you put in the peanut butter.
Exactly.
You put in the cheese. It don't work. But finally, put in the ice cream or whatever. That's what it is. You have to get that information out there, but you gotta like put it and cover it up. I was talking to Jason he gave that analogy last night. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great analogy. So I stole that from him, but I want to give him credit for that.
Jason Stats.
Jason Stats, there we go. And so it's like making that in content like engaging. So that's what I try to do my content instead of just like,
Right.
looking at the camera, make sure you file your taxes. It's like, how do we make it engaging and so forth.
And you definitely do that.
Yeah.
Now, the content in general, I mean, it is tax talk.
Right.
And what's your tagline at the end?
I make taxes very easy to understand.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I really like that a lot. But this is, you have a business too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're not just out, and so this content creation is generating business for you.
Right.
How's that work? They just see the video and they reach out to you?
They see it. It's so funny because there's no called CTAs, and none of my actually in the comment section there is, but it's like there's a link in your bio. And it's like there's this idea on TikTok that you kind of know if this person's just kind of like talking about this stuff. I want to learn more about this person. So you'll have people that scroll, and you'll have people that this is really good, and they'll deep dive, they'll do research, they'll click the link in your bio, they click the link in your bio. Oh my God, he does taxes too? You'd be surprised how many people say like, oh my gosh, they have no idea I even own a firm.
Right.
I would only say probably 3% of my followers actually know I own a firm, which is ridiculous. I don't know.
You might have to change that.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, like I put in my comment section now, and the conversion rate's a lot higher like when I go live. TikTok, and that's another thing. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you see like the views go so high, like the conversion rate's probably high. No, on TikTok it's probably less than 1%. But yeah, it's allowed me to build a firm. I went from 0 to 7 figures, which has been nice. It's been a journey along the way. So I don't want to just focus on success, but it's like building team and like going up and down and up and down. And it's really important too when there's one thing to start a business, it's a whole different thing to scale.
Yep.
So starting the business was the easy part. Scaling was probably the most difficult part, by far, because I'm like, I can't handle this, and then now I have a bad reputation. Now the brand's going down. So we were literally during COVID, over 100 leads a day.
Yeah,
over
that's
100.
crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I gave it to another firm, but my name was attached to that firm, and that firm ended up scamming people. Now they're coming back to my comment section. They're like, yeah. So it's a journey. Boy. It's been 2 years since like burned that. Yeah.
Well, I know. You and I talked in the past, and you have at times throttled growth. Mm-hmm. Probably for those reasons. You don't want to get a reputation. Are you in the control growth
Controlled.
or?
100%.
Okay.
I will shut some stuff down immediately. So I have a one-page click now. So like that's funny that you say that. So just about like 3 days ago, I launched another business. It's like more of a tax education for like tax professionals. It got to 44. Boom, stop, done, no more. So now it's a wait list. I think that wait list is at 20 or 30. It's because first of all, I have no idea what I'm doing in this education community. So it's very dynamic.
Yep.
It's what people want. So we have one person calling like feedback, and so we're having it like more of a Netflix style, like where imagine you're watching Netflix or your favorite show, but you can like kind of plan how the next episode's gonna be. So every next episode, it's all dynamic based off of feedback, and there's someone actually on the phone like calling people. So it's like they're like, right now we just launched season 1, so everyone's like, oh, and we have challenges as well. So it's like so the first challenge when you log in is like, can you binge season 1 in 5 days? Can you do it? And everyone's like, yeah, I can binge season 1. And because that was one of the challenges when you're starting like an online community or course of education.
Right.
You have people who fall off. Can you binge season 1's first thing and then do it? And be like, I could have never figured that out if we just had hundreds of people in there. Like, we don't get feedback.
Right. Exactly.
So I feel like once we have that down in the feedback, and then maybe we can open it up to more people. But yeah, that's that controlled growth. I love controlled growth. It's not about being big, making money. It's controlling that growth.
Yep. But your firm itself, I saw a post the other day that the earliest in the year you exceeded $1 million in revenue. That just happened.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was the first time. I'm like, yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So what do you think? What do you expect in revenue-wise this year then?
Probably a little over. Probably close to. I was projecting 1.5.
Okay.
I think we'll do closer to 7, 1.7.
Oh, really?
Close to, yeah.
So you're significantly.
Yeah, we make
that.
most of our money. Like, of course, during tax season, March is really good for us. But like, because we run like these memberships, like these prorated memberships. So it's like, okay, like we have one price. They're almost like 40% off because like you don't get the full service of it.
Right.
So it's like people just jump on that at the end of the year. And so we see a big surge.
So you'll see that.
Huge surge.
All right. And then I want to go back to the community because part of this conference that we're doing here is we talk about the fact that community is so important. And that organization, the group that you just started with,
Tax Takeoff.
Tax Takeoff.
Yeah.
And so does that mean, hey, you're there for people that are starting a tax program or a tax firm or?
So look, I'm so glad.
So it's dynamic. You're still figuring it out?
It's so dynamic. I'm so glad you asked that question because I had no idea. But Tanya knows. And I asked Tanya and she has some notes. So you'd be surprised. So most of the people that are actually joining Tax Takeoff has been in business for 8 or more years.
Oh, wow.
So one of the common feedback that we're getting right now is they hit a plateau or they're stuck or they don't know what to do. And I had no idea that was my target market.
Right.
I know people like, gosh, you've been doing this thing longer than me. You know, I started my business in 2018, but it didn't get serious in 2021. So I've been like in full operations for 2 years.
Right.
That I've learned so much in 2 years. And it's like, now I'm teaching people like that this, which is fascinating. So I would say it's most of the people like, not even just, and I wouldn't say my market is people getting into the tax industry. I would say it's more the people on the business side wanted to like, you know, add advisory services or things like that. I do have a friend I can refer out if you're just getting started, but I believe I bring the most value to teaching them how like to run like their practice after it's already been set up and they experience that like the growth and like where do I go next? And so that's where we're like pivoting to.
So when you talk about, you know, the growth and helping them get going I think you and I talked before about just technology integration. Is that something you think you'll be addressing with this group? Yeah.
Yeah. So no, they want it. So season 2. So it's so funny that you said that. So I'm like, I'm preparing all my videos for like they're in seasons, and each season there's episodes. So I'm like, I'm preparing season 2, episode 1. And I'm like, okay, of course they want to learn about social media. Like, that's why they're here. Like,
right.
Yeah. Tanya's like, no, they want to learn about tax zone. I'm like, you're kidding me. So they're like, yeah, most of the people who have signed up for your education, they have downloaded and bought TaxZone because they heard it from somebody else. Right. But they have no idea what they want to do with it. They also want to know why TaxZone, because other people are going to, I think she said Tax Slayer. Okay. And so she's like, when you talk, so I was Tanya, Tanya, come here. And, you know, I hired Tanya like 5 days ago, or a week ago, and she's just.
Really?
We can talk about hiring too. That girl's a beast. Like, oh my gosh. So she's like, I love her because she takes action without me telling her, and she kind of tells me what to do instead of me telling her what to do. Which, Brandy, we need that. Like,
oh yeah. So I have somebody sitting off camera over here that is very good at keeping me in line and my schedule in line. So I agree, it's extremely
so
important.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So how about, let's talk about the conference a little bit in general here. You know, is there anything specific you're hoping to learn while we're here? Any specific, I can't talk, specific sessions you're looking for? You are in, there you go.
Remix, like it's a remix. Like,
there you go. You are giving a session, so I know that one will be important, but anything specific that comes to mind on the conference?
I'm just looking at, I'm really excited about our session. I have the panel that you set up for, thank you for that. The startup phase and like the generations ones. Other than that, I'm just looking to, of course, hear from other people, which I'm super excited about. I'm also excited about the networking opportunities, just like meeting other people and so forth. So I'm looking forward to it. So like, first of all, thanks for inviting me out and having
Oh man, I'm thrilled you're here.
Yeah.
I was, we talked about this a while ago, so I'm glad. It's what you just said. A big part of these conferences for me, the classroom is great. We learn a lot. We have great speakers here, but that's outside the classroom where you learn a ton too. And there you go.
The bar, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be surprised, like, the amount of opportunities you can meet. 100%.
Yeah, no, so I'm looking for that. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sitting down and doing this interview, and I'm looking forward to getting in your session on marketing and, what was it, the symbiotic, are you the symbiotic relationship between marketing and sales? No, I'm not sure.
There's a generation one, and there's a...
Oh, the generation, you're on two.
The generation, two.
The
one today and the one tomorrow.
one is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. Don't tell any of the other speakers. That was my favorite one when I came up with that idea, because
you talked about that a year ago in Connect.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, well this is awesome. That one we'll have to. Some of these videos will be out. They should watch that one because it's coming up.
It's going down.
It's 3 different firms at 3 different lifespans of it. Startup, 18 and 21 growth. Startup. We have a firm that's mature in growth phase, and then we have a very mature firm that's been around 50 years. And
they're like, I was speaking to her. She's like, we're doing 40 million in revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
Yep. So we got 1.7, we got 12, and we got 40 million or something like that. So that was gonna be great. So okay, again, thanks for being here. It's awesome to see you. I'm glad you're at the event, and we'll hang out for sure.
All
right.
Thank you, brother.